So now that you've finished month 6, you have all the units that you need to put your blocks together. I'm just going to give you a few tips. If you look at the back of sheet 6, you'll see that your blocks are completely done. We'll take all the units. I've already sewn a lot of mine together, but this is how I did it. I had piles of all my half square triangles, 4-patch, quarter square triangles, hourglass, flying geese, and triangle in a square. And you start by lay out your 9 pieces for block number 1. So you'd start with the flying geese in the top corner, then a half square triangle where the black, whoops, not that one, this one, where the black is making the angle going down, so you have a little point up here. Then your 4-patch. 4 patches rotated with the red, in this case red, whatever highlight color you have, matching that bottom corner. Another half square triangle, and this one is the highlight color with the dark green, continuing that straight line pattern of the highlight color. In the center, triangle in a square, pointing in that direction. Then an hourglass, quarter square triangle with the white matching here. Now here is important to know you have both left and right units. If I was to use the other one, the opposite one, I could match the white, but I wouldn't have the right color up here. So make sure you grab the right one. You've got the green coming down here. The bottom row is the hourglass with the light color on the outside. There it is over there. Another half square triangle. And this one, the black is touching. And the black is touching the light color. You see that shape? I know it looks really weird, but in the end it'll work out, trust me. And then finally the last 2 flying geese units. Now you're going to do the same thing again, but in the mirror direction. And by mirror, that means that this point is going in the opposite direction. This piece is the other quarter square triangle, the mirror of it. Now the easiest way to do a mirror block is to actually take these pieces wrong side up and lay them out this way, right on top of where they were. Let me show you how I do that, because when it's wrong side out, see how that works? Wrong side up, and that way I can flip them over and make my mirror block. See, everything's upside down, exactly over the top of the same shape. You don't really have to think about this, just look for the shape. Now when I'm ready to put that mirror block together, I can just flip them over and do them that way. So there's my mirror block. So you flip it straight over, bring the middle over, and then the far end to the far end. And once you have all these ready and laid out, you can just take one row at a time to your machine, sew them. And I like to sort of put them all together at the same time, all of one row, all of the next row, and so on. So here, for example, is one of my rows done. I actually worked across the block. It doesn't matter which way you go, but here's one of my rows done. And here's the mirror of that row. And here's this row and its mirror. And then the bottom row and its mirror. And then the finished block looks like this. You're going to have 18 of each. And then these go over here. And just keep them separate. So when you go to put them together, it'll be easy to match up your blocks. And we'll do that in after all the blocks are made. A couple things to point out. When you're sewing these rows together, and also the blocks, when you get to that seam that has a lot of little layers against the seam that has only one, flip your pressing. So start open, go to the side, and go open again. It just makes a flatter seam when you're ready to quilt it. You want to make sure that you're meeting your seams at an accurate 1/4 inch. So I do pin just to make sure I'm exactly right. If I come to one that isn't quite right, I will take it out and do it over. You just have to usually back up maybe 2 inches and straighten them out. And this is the beauty, this is your good news, fabric stretches. So if you need to pull a little bit, you can, to make things fit exactly. Remember, my triangle and a square was a little small in some cases. So if you look over here, you can see I'm a little short here, which is fine. When I go across, I'm going to have a shorter seam allowance on that light part, but I'm going to line it up with where it belongs. And when I sew that, you see I'm going to have not quite enough seam allowance to go to the edge, and that's fine. This is well within tolerance. It's about 1/16 off, so there's no problem with that. And when you put them all together, you're going to press them again and make your blocks nice and flat. So as you can see, these are all done. I'm way ahead of you guys, so get going. Have fun. We'll get back to doing month 7 is the next one. Have fun.